Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shdows Secrit, where tonight we step into the cold and mysterious heart of the North, a realm of eternal snow, silent fjords, and shadows that move when no one's watching. These are the Dark Nordic Tales, stories carved into the ice and whispered by the wind, where every murder has a curse, every secret bleeds through the frost, and every echo hides a truth too terrifying to speak aloud. Our tale begins deep within the Norwegian wilderness, in a forgotten village named Odaheim, where time itself seems frozen. Once home to a thriving fishing community, it is now nothing but ruins buried in snow. The locals who still live near its borders say no one leaves once they enter Odaheim, that the snow remembers your footprints, and if you walk far enough, you'll start seeing others walking beside you, matching your pace, though the ground shows no second set of prints. It was here in the winter of 1974 that Detective Lars Eiríksson was sent to investigate a string of disappearances. The case file contained only one photograph, a line of children standing near an icy lake, their faces blurred as though erased by the wind. Lars vanished 3 weeks later, but before he did, he sent a final message to his wife. The children are still here, but they are not alive. His body was never found, only his badge, half buried in the frozen lake, and from that day on, no one dared to say the name Odaheim aloud after dark. Across the border in Sweden, the small mining town of Hagfors hides another frozen secret. In the 1920s, miners unearthed a black stone with ancient carvings, unlike anything Scandinavian archaeologists had ever seen. After it was removed from the mine, a series of gruesome murders began. Bodies arranged in circles, eyes missing, mouths filled with salt. When the authorities returned the stone to its original place, the killing stopped instantly. To this day, no one knows what the symbols meant. But locals claim that when storms approach, you can still hear whispers from beneath the earth, chanting words in a language older than the Vikings themselves. In Finland, things grow darker still. Deep within Lapland lies a forest called Kuolainen Metsä, the forest of the dead. Hunters who wander too deep find trees carved with human names, some belonging to people who are still alive, others who haven't even been born yet. In 2009, a forensic team investigated the site after a missing tourist was found there, frozen solid yet freshly preserved, his eyes open, reflecting an aurora borealis that hadn't appeared that night. His camera revealed his final moments, footage of figures standing between the trees, cloaked in shadow, unmoving, watching. Every frame closer than the last, until the lens shattered from within. No one has entered that forest since. Over in Denmark, beneath the cobbled streets of Copenhagen, lies an ancient network of tunnels, forgotten catacombs used centuries ago by a secret court known as Dommeren I Kulde, or the Judges of Cold. They believed the law had failed humanity, and that true justice must come from the dark itself. They sentenced criminals to death, not by hanging or blade, but by burial in the frost, locked in stone chambers with only a candle that slowly froze before it burned out. Centuries later, during metro construction in 1998, engineers stumbled upon those very chambers. Inside were bodies still intact, as though they had only just died, and on the walls, scratched by fingernails, were the words, "We will rise with the next thaw." After that discovery, 5 workers from the project went missing, one by one. Their names later appeared carved on the walls of the same chamber. Authorities sealed the tunnels permanently, but residents above still complain of a low humming beneath their floors, a rhythm that matches the heartbeat. And then there's Iceland, cold, beautiful, and cursed. On the edge of a volcanic plain stands the abandoned settlement of Eldervik, erased from maps in 1961. Legend says the town's founder, Jonas Halldórsson, made a pact with something beneath the ice to protect his people from famine. For 30 years, no one in Eldervik died, not even from sickness. But in 1960, the pact broke. When rescuers arrived after reports of silence, they found every villager standing perfectly still in the streets, their faces pale, eyes open, skin like marble. They were statues, frozen mid-breath, mid-step, as if time had stopped. Scientists called it an unknown atmospheric event, but locals knew better. They say Jonas's deal demanded renewal every 30 years, and when he refused, the entity came to claim them all. To this day, those who venture near Eldorvik hear the crunch of footsteps in the snow, yet leave no footprints behind. In the modern age, the darkness took a new shape: crime. A Swedish journalist named Victor Nilsson began investigating a wave of disappearances stretching across Norway, Denmark, and Finland. All victims last seen near sites tied to ancient myths. He found a pattern. Every 33 years, a cycle of deaths mirrored old Nordic legends: the frozen children, the blind miner, the silent judges, the frost king. Victor's final entry in his digital journal read, "The myths are not stories. They are contracts, and someone is still keeping them." The next morning, his car was found parked on a frozen lake, doors unlocked, engine running. His laptop sat on the passenger seat, screen glowing white, displaying one line over and over again: "The cold remembers." Nobody ever found him. In the far north of Finland, beyond the Arctic Circle, there's a village that doesn't appear on any GPS map. Locals call it Varjo, meaning shadow. Only one road leads there, and yet no one remembers building it. The last known sighting was in 2015, when a group of hikers posted photos online showing empty houses, lights still flickering, and meals set on tables. But no people. The final image from their camera showed an icy reflection of themselves, except one detail was wrong. There was an extra figure standing behind them, smiling. The account was deleted hours later. Authorities who went to investigate found the trail erased by a blizzard, and the coordinates no longer existed on record. Some say Varjo only appears to those who are meant to stay there forever. Even modern police archives contain strange coincidences. Several Nordic cold cases, separated by decades, mention the same description from witnesses: a tall figure wearing a black coat, face hidden under frost, always standing near the crime scene, watching silently. Locals call him the Frost Man. He's neither young nor old, his eyes white as snow, and wherever he appears, tragedy follows. Some say he's the spirit of a long-dead lawman from the Viking Age, cursed to hunt sinners until the last snowfall. Others believe he's the embodiment of guilt itself, drawn to those who have taken life unjustly. The strangest part? Every police sketch of him across countries and eras looks identical. Meanwhile, archaeologists in northern Sweden recently uncovered a massive stone tablet beneath melting ice. The carvings matched those from the cursed mine in Häggfors, and a phrase was translated, "The snow shall remember the blood it drinks." That night, a sudden storm buried the entire site, and the research team's communication was lost for 3 days. When rescue teams arrived, they found all equipment intact, but no people, only their footprints leading to the center of the site, where the ice had melted into a perfect circle, steaming under the moonlight. And from that circle, faintly, came the sound of whispering in Old Norse. These are not stories, they are warnings. The North holds its crimes like relics, never solved, never forgotten. Each murder, each disappearance, each whisper of guilt becomes part of the endless white expanse. The snow covers it for a while, but when spring comes, the truth always thaws. So if you ever find yourself wandering the Nordic wilderness and the wind begins to sound like it is calling your name, don't turn around. Don't look back, because once the frost takes notice of you, it never lets go. The cold is watching, the ice remembers, and the shadows of the north are patient. Thank you for watching Shdows Secrit. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying stories from the shadows.